prevention and implementation in workshop by on surveillance camera.
Oh, Hello everyone. Thank you, Mr. Thanh Nguyen, for introducing me, and thank you all the member of the university invite me come here today. I'm very appreciative to come here to share with all of you. My research is one of the research in my research team in company. So firstly, I will introduce briefly about myself. So I graduated bachelor in computer science at UST, and after that I continued study master at Vietnam National University. From 2015, I came to Korea to continue my PhD, also the postdoc in Seoul National University. About my working experience, I already deployed some national as well as global project to apply a national database for science and technology in Ministry of Science and Technology from 2012 to 2019. And also deploy some project about e-government and smart city. So my main major in PhD about e-government and IT management. My interesting research relate to some field science like robotics, AI, computer vision, and knowledge management. So the reason I came here today because I would like to share to all of you the one of our research about automatic predictive policing, prevention and SB tracking in workshops based on surveillance cameras. As you know, now I'm working in Samsung Display Vietnam. In my company, we have a lot of mobile robot we call AGV, automated guide vehicle. This kind of robot we use for logistic transfer materials as well as the goods from sources to destination for purpose to enhance the performance and automatic system to supply the materials necessary for all of the process to process the display goods. So this kind of AGV, we have one consistent system we call ACS, AGV control system. This kind of system that will manage and supervise all of the operation of AGV. However, we have some current problems for this system. Firstly, because when AGV move on the path road, they need to reach the top, follow their road path. And whenever they miss the top, ACS system cannot control all of the operation of AGV. And the second limitation is the sensor. In front of each AGV, we have a sensor to push the alarms whenever they meet obstacle in front of the robot. And when they move to the cross lane, they will have a traffic jam if the sensor alarms put the point when the sensor has blind point. And this one will decreases the detect effectiveness when they have many collisions. Because in each cross lane, we have a lot of AGVs. They run around and they have interconnection among them. So from this reason, the collision rate of AGV is still in the high level. even though we try to upgrade and make some innovation points from hardware, look like we change the barcode reader from Honeywell to the 6 bytecode, and we also upgrade the main board from 2.0 to 3.0, and we change the sensor from BPS to 6 laser. However, to overcome this kind of limitation is not easy because the ACS system is depend not only from hardware but also for software. So from this kind of situation, we think about when we look like from real environment, we see from real traffic vehicle system. We think how we can apply this kind of concept into my current situation. It is the reason why we think about to combine the technical from AI technique and computer vision to develop the consistent system to control and supervise the IDB operation. So from the graph in the right side of this slide, you can see the overview operation of this kind of AI vision system. We have a camera. We use 2 cameras opposite among them, and they focus on the approach lane to detect and control the operation of the ADB. Our purpose to prevent collision and predict the capability to appear collisions before ADB can bump together. And with this kind of system, we not depend only on hardware. We focus on the software to control and predict the earlier action of ADB. So we can active control ADB flow, decreases traffic jam, and from that on we decreases the transfer time of ADB pass cross on evident area. And this kind of project, we have a new concept from 2020. Firstly, we developed AI system in any environment. In this environment, we make some simulation to simulate the operation of ADB as well as the operation of ACS system. And from January of 2021, we set up one sample of AI vision system in a real environment. In a manufacturing environment, we have around 3,000 ADB. They operate and transfer all materials from each process to produce the product. And with the first step, we set up this kind of system in one byte. We couldn't buy it because it covers all the process of ADB to move materials from sources to destination. During the first step of this deployment, we have some improvement as well as innovation action to improve the detection capability. In next slide, I will tell more detail about this kind of innovation action. And after that, in April of last year, we developed some logic control to control ADB more smoothly and more effectively. In July of last year, we also deploy and expand operation of AI system in more areas. And until now, we expand already in 20 more new areas in manufacturing environment. So in this slide, I will tell you briefly about the hardware and software architecture of our system. As I told you in previous slide, in each of the road lane, we set up two cameras. They have an opposite side focused on the middle point of the each road lane during the AGV operation, and which image and video input data. We use some calibration algorithm and put on the first module in our system. We call detection module. With this module, we try to detect all of the objects uh, which they go around across land. This kind of object including AGV, the human and the transfer car. And another one we detect the AGV ID. This is very important in our system because with our detection HPID, we cannot control any operation of any LTV. So we use a YOLO P5 and alpha marker for this detection action. And next step, we put the output result to the tracking model. And in this model, we use a short, simple online data to make the real tracking whenever we operate on the path road. And after that, we make the fusion result from two kind of cameras, and we merge the output result from cameras and put on the map. After that, we use some logic controls to operate and manage, supervise all of the operation of AGV. Lastly, we send the output data from our AI vision system to ACX server because AI vision system cannot control directly the AGV operation. We must to send signal to ACX server to control AGV. So firstly, we use the two commands to control AGV: stop and start command. Stop AGV whenever we predict the collision among AGV, and we will send a start command after the collision is finished. So this is briefly architect our system. So now I will tell more detail about some innovation item about our system. Firstly, as a previous slide, I talked about the detection ID HDV. It is very important because you know, look like the car outside. Each car we have the number plate to detect identifying information of our own car. So similar like this, on each HDV, we have a four side HDV in front of, behind, left side, and right side. We put the ID number. Firstly, we use one consistent set, including 3 digits to identify the information of each HDV. So for first step, we use three step. We need to pass to detect HDV ID. Firstly, we use YOLO layer to flattening and make the consistent layer for the purpose to detection the bounding box for each digit. With using the non-max suppression, we select the bounding box which has the most justly confident. And after this step, we use some algorithm to arrange coordinate of each digit from left side to right side. And finally, we have a consistent set of the 3 digits. This is the HBID. However, with this methodology, we have some disadvantage because we must pass 3 steps to identify the HBID. Whenever we miss one step, the wrong HBID will appear. So this is very difficult to detect the most exactly number of ADB ID. And another one is the process time. With this innovation point, they must to have around 1 second, exactly the 0.8 second, is not really adaptive more well for our requirement. Because to control IDB, we need to control in real time, no delay, no mistake. So from this kind of situation, we think about the new concept. So whenever we use our products, we put some QR code. From this type of concept, we think about why we not choose this concept and apply it to our system. It is the reason why we use Arco marker. Arco is one of the QR code, but they have the more advantage compared to another code. Arco is the code. They have some binary using to identify the most consistent and the most exactly detection from the input data from ADB. We have image and video data, and we put on the image filter and put some threshold to detect the disease of Arco. And in this graph, in the right side, you can see the changes before and after we use Arco code. Before we use Arco, the exactly identified is not good, around 80 or 87%. But after we apply Arco code, the confidence is increasing smoothly. Now it's more and more exactly. Now it's reached to the 99% exactly. And also the process time already improved. Process speed more quickly and the results more accurately. Process time now we reach only 0.2 seconds. So it is a very speed innovation when we make in our project. And in this slide, you can see the Arco code. We use only two kinds of binary 0 and binary 1, with the various ranges of two kinds of binary. We identify the column and the row. For example, in this slide, you can see we use the find multiply the Arco side. With each column or each row, we identify the ID number. With the arrangement of column, we show the results of binary value. Finally, we convert from binary value to decimal number. Through this kind of step, no mistake, no delay for detection ADB ID. Because it is very simple and the output result only true or false. It's no more result. So it's easy for control detection. And here is some control logic we already innovate when we deploy our project. Because in the previous slide, when I mentioned about ACS operation, ACS, before they use the intersection logic, it looks like the traffic control flow when we drive the car outside. We have the red line and the green line. In the red line, we have the red signal, and the green line, we use the green signal. Whenever each path road, they have a red line, it means all of the ADB in this line need to stop, cannot move it. And in the green line, all ADB can move easily. It is the logic to control ADB of ACS system. However, they have some existing problem. Like when ADB reads the task, for instance, if ADB reads task successfully, it's no more accident. But if ADB misses the task, for instance, the ACS system cannot control ADB operation, and this kind of problem will lead to the collision among ADB. And another one is ACS system cannot detect moving direction of ADB. It is the reason why when we follow on the map of ADB, the path route of ADB is cannot optimization from this kind of problem. Our AI vision system solve this problem by applying the new logic, which more detailed calculation. We calculate with the safety distance among ADB. It is 210 centimeters from the midpoint of ADB A to midpoint of ADB B. And our system can process all the space with this safety distance. This will avoid the collision among ADB. And another sign we can detect very clearly and exactly the direction and allow two ADB can continue moving if their path road don't have any intersection point. For example, in this slide, you can see when ADB move from left side to the right side, and another one move from top to down. If their path road don't have any intersection point, they will continue from moving. Because our company, we have some security rule. So come to this workshop today. I want to show you the real video of ADB operation. But unfortunately, based on some security rule, I cannot put any real video in my slide. So I will tell you some ADB moving scenarios. This kind of scenario we test correctly when we deploy the AI vision system in real manufacturing environment. First scenario, we have two ADB. They run together in two operation path row, and we reach the path checking, and they move together. Our system will control two kinds of ADB to run together and have no collision. And another scenario is two ADBs. They came to cross lane in the consistent path, and among them we calculate the distance from midpoint of ADB to the midpoint of cross lane. We predict collision capability before they reach to the cross lane. And another scenario, when we drive the car on the way, sometimes we will have some curve path direction when we drive the car. So similar like this, ADB operation in manufacturing environment, we have the same concept and the same situation. So for this scenario is more difficult than when we move straightly with this curve path road. They need to calculate more carefully when they reach to the cross lane. And the last scenario is the two ADB move on the same path road, and in front of ADB we have the human. They are standing in front of ADB, and the own ADB in this path road need to stop when they detect the human accident. So this kind of scenario we already used in lab environment and real manufacturing environment. Another control of this, it is related to some mathematical calculation to find the coordinates of centroid ADB. It is key point of our system to calculate and detect most exactly coordinate of centroid ATV. We use two steps. First one, we detect the 2 points bounding box with X and Y envelope from ATV detection module. We calculate and find the 2 midpoints of top line and down line of the box. And the second step, we try to project above 2 points on the coordinate system in real space. We call IFA in linear, and we detect the position of cameras X, Y, and H. We appear with the new formula to calculate center of ATV in real space. So from this type calculation, we have evaluation methodology in the right side of this line. We have only 3.6 3.62 centimeter is the error term between the real action of ATV and simulation operation of ATV. So this research, I think, is very good for the simulation, because when we put when we do a simulation model, we put the target, the error term need to have below 5 centimeters, but our result is around only 3 centimeters. It's adapted well for our output requirement. And when we apply our system in real environment, you can see from this graph, before we implement our AI system, the collision error is very high, around 60 or 70 in each area. But time by time, step by step, the collision rate decreases smoothly and more effectively. And now we try to make the generalization. It means no more collision in each area we control. And another sign, we have a transfer time. It's another index to show the effectiveness and optimization of our system. Because as you know, whenever we go through the road lane, the speed and the time they must to pass is very important, because from sources to destination we have a lot of obstacles among them. We need to overcome all this kind of obstacle, and the moving time of ATV, they need to adapt well for the roasting and passing requirement. So in the below graph, you can see the transfer time decreasing smoothly from around 67 until now only 27 or 25 seconds. And this graph we saw in last year, and until this year, the index is more effectiveness and more optimization. And another effectiveness of our system, I think in this group have someone, they already came to some system company, and when they enter in the line environment, you can see a lot of ATV and a lot of human. The human have a responsibility to control and manage all operations of ATV. Our target is decrease the number of humans in line. We try to make a smart factory, and from this kind of purpose, we try to decreasing the number of humans. So with this application of AI system, we can decreasing the number of collision and the congestion case. It is very important and more possible to conduct multi-job for manual AGV personnel. Another effectiveness is, when among AGV they have a collision, they will have some broken in equipment and material, and we need to buy the new equipment and new material to replace for the broken one. It costs a very expensive price, and every year we spend a lot of money for this kind of program. But with application of our system, we can decreasing the quantity of the replacement material, look like bumper or sensor or another hardware materials of AGV. Another one is optimize the AGV moving time. In the previous slide, I tell you about the transfer time of AGV. It's very important because we need to control more effectively operation of AGV. So when we can predict well the operation and the collision of AGV, we can find a new path for AGV to move to reach for optimization. This is visible value, but besides that, we have some invisible value. For example, in this project, we made a collaboration with 8 university, and we transfer some excellent students from university to industry company. On the other side, we transfer technology from company to university. So we have a win-win collaboration between academic side and industry side. And another one, we are building a premise to expand and apply 4.0 technologies, look like AI, deep learning, computer vision, towards the smart factory. And AI vision system is the first point for our long-term MOU. Because we from Samsung and AWST, we already have an MOU between two presidents. And every year we try to find a new project to make a more tiny collaboration between academic side and industry side. And I think this project is one of our important projects. And next slide, I will show you some scenarios when our system upgrade in the future. For example, after collision, the traffic jam maybe can appear, and we need to think about how to process with this kind of traffic jam. And also the path road of HV, when among HV they have collision, they need to find a new path road to optimize the operation of HV. And also for the direction detection, control HV for moving direction is very important because, for example, when one HV they stop on the one lane, another we need to find the new direction route for moving. And from this kind of situation, now we already have the new collaboration project between our company and AWST. We call a SLAM project, simultaneous, autonomous, and localization. And in our research team, we also have some new research idea and concept. We apply the new technology to identify the new solution and new methodologies to solve the current situation and current problem of manufacturing environment. And I think in next time, when I have a new opportunity to come back here, I will share to you very new concept and another opportunities to make more challenges and make them more strengthened for our good collaboration. So today I will finish my presentation today. Thank you so much for all the
Thank you,
Thì xin hỏi là có thể hỏi tiếng Anh hoặc là tiếng Việt được không ạ?
mean expand our concept for another application. Yeah. Before I came to Samsung company, I did some project, the collaboration project between the Korean government and Vietnamese government. We already applied the new model and the new framework for public transportation system in Vietnam. We already deployed in Huế and Ho Chi Minh City. Because you know, in Ho Chi Minh City, like biggest city in Vietnam, we have a lot of traffic jam and a lot of accidents, a lot of collision among the various transportation types. And now we implement our research result into our current situation. And now when you came to Huế or Ho Chi Minh City, when you enter in a management system of in the police station, you can see the very big display. They can control and predict the collision and predict the accident among various cars. So this is our output result when we implement the research output from academic to industry.
Hello, Dr. Thành. What kind of sensor did you implement on the AGV?
Thank you for the question. So until now we use a lot of kind of sensor. First one we use a PPS sensor, and after we make innovate, we change to the 6 laser sensor, and now we when we reach to the SLAM AD, we use a 781 model sensor. It is a 3 kind sensor we already use in AGV.
Are they the camera based or LiDAR or ultrasonic type of sensors?
The last one I mentioned is the LiDAR sensor. Another one is another sensor.
Okay. Do you think what type of testing method? You test on the simulation or you test on the real field? My question is, what kind of
your question?
yes?
I cannot hear the question.
What kind of testings to validate your control algorithm? You test on simulation environment or you test on the real field? Xin hỏi là anh thử nghiệm nó là dạ, tôi hỏi là anh thử nghiệm nó, anh test thử nghiệm nó bằng trên trong môi trường mô phỏng hay là trong môi trường thật?
Ở đây lúc mình trình bày là có 2 cái step. Step đầu tiên là mình test ở trong môi trường mô phỏng. Sau khi mà test thành công môi trường mô phỏng, mình đã áp dụng thực tế ở trong môi trường thật.
Yeah. Ok. Tôi đến từ công ty mà VV là đại diện của Display về mảng điều khiển ô tô autonomous trong công nghiệp ấy. Thì rất là hy vọng được trao đổi thêm với anh sau này, mong anh chia sẻ cho cái thông tin liên lạc có được không?
Vâng, rất cảm ơn anh. Nhất định tôi chia sẻ thông tin với anh.
Dạ, có sẽ anh gửi trong cái chat này. Dạ.
Vâng, ok.
Dạ, xin dành thời gian cho người khác ạ, vì tôi không muốn dần xỉn.
To check the ID and property of PDB. But the 2D camera depends on the lighting condition. So if the lighting condition change, we have any consideration about first.
In the first day, we use two kind of cameras. They have opposite position and focus on the approach lane. And after that, we make some innovation action item. We not only depend on the position of the camera, we have some kind of application of sensor or another camera. We put in the lower side in HAV, because in front of HAV we put some cameras to detect in front of the obstacle.
So sensor.
Not only sonic sensor, we use another vision camera to detect. Yes. Thank you for your question.
May I have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, in the past, you concentrate on AI, right?
Yes.
So, can you say what sort of model of AI you thinking or concept? What type of model? Neural or specific model?
As I mentioned in our slide, I use YOLO V5. The reason why I use this kind of model, because when we compare to another model, look like SSD mobile net or another model, we found the process time and the architect of the model. Our model have 5 and 6 layers to flattening and identify the middle layer. And process time is also lower and more speeder than another model. And another reason is because this kind of project we made a collaboration between our company and university and the students in our university. They have a familiar with YOLO V5 more than another model. Yes. Yeah, thank you for your question.
Any question? Thank you, Dr. Vân Anh.
Dạ, xin anh Thành cho cái thông tin liên lạc.
Okay, hôm nay mình lại không hút thông tin này trong này, mà thì mình sẽ gửi thông qua ban tổ chức cho anh. Có được không?
Dạ, cảm ơn anh. Dạ, không anh Trọng không biết là
Không xem được chắc ạ.
dạ. Dạ, anh đặt lên. Dạ. Dạ, phải là bạn tốt.
Anh cần official email hay là personal email?
Dạ, official thì càng tốt anh ạ, càng tốt. Dạ, có gì mình liên hệ, mình nói chuyện, trao đổi nó.
Tôi nghĩ là anh nên gửi cả hai email về email Samsung ấy, thì thỉnh thoảng sẽ có phần security, nên là nhiều cái file bên ngoài gửi cái thông tin bên ngoài sẽ bị lọc ấy. nên là nếu anh gửi vào Nhật sẽ tốt hơn.
Dạ, quá tốt ạ. Dạ, dạ. Dạ, tôi thì bên công ty của bên Display thì giải pháp về Autonomous Vehicle Control nó rất là nhiều, thành ra có thể mình trao đổi những cái hỗ trợ ra nó rất là hiệu quả.
Vâng, rất cảm ơn anh. Anh có câu hỏi rất hay và tôi nghĩ là sau này nếu mà chúng ta hợp tác được trong dự án sắp tới thì sẽ rất là tốt.
Dạ, tôi nghĩ rất tiềm năng anh Thành ạ, bởi vì nó được gọi là cái bài toán điều khiển của anh nó rất là hay ở cái chỗ là cái ACS của anh là bây giờ anh làm cái AI cho cái nó thì cái đang triển khai có thể rất là lớn để mà nó giúp cho cái giảm cái collision với là throughput á. Cái này giống như trong về bên mảng ô tô cũng là đang đối mặt với nó rất là khá nhiều.
Và cái này thực ra cũng có một số hợp tác với bên VinFast với cả bên Tesla thì cũng có một số cái nghiên cứu gần đây thôi, thì tôi cũng sẽ có thể sẽ chia sẻ với anh sau khi mà chúng ta trao đổi qua công ty quay lên.
Dạ, dạ vâng, dạ vâng, dạ rồi, dạ. Cảm ơn anh. Tôi là Việt.
Vâng.
Dạ, cảm ơn thầy các quý thầy ở trường Đại học Bách Khoa tạo điều kiện.
Để sư của anh Nam cứ nhận là giáo sư